You know, I always tell myself I should like have a ready set intro so that I can just jump straight into it and not come up with a new intro every single video. But I never do that. I never do that, bro. I just come up with some random shit to tell y'all. Oh, I seen a black squirrel today. Name the last time you seen a black squirrel. You can't. They're all brown. I've never seen a black squirrel before. The tribe said I should watch this, so we're gonna watch it. It's really as simple as that. What the tribe wants is what the tribe gets. Y'all are like my firstborn child. Who is Chris? Whoa. Do I gotta get
Hello,
food?
hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie, and today we are back with another dun mukbang. Woo! Okay, this time we're in New York City, so we're eating some delicious Korean street food.
That shit look good.
Please leave your New York City restaurant recommendations linked in the description, but they have to be able to do takeout.
Hi, Stephanie.
So
sorry, I was just staring at the food.
Barnju 35 and OK Hot Dog. I hope it's not just okay. Or was it called okay dog? Either way, so we have some Korean egg toast. We have some crispy tofu. We have cheesy tteokbokki. These are potato croquettes, spicy.
Wait, that's tteokbokki?
Yeah, I know. It just looks like straight up cheese. It looks like mac and cheese tteokbokki.
What is?
Yeah.
What is?
And then we have some potato croquettes.
Tteokbokki?
We have these spicy wings. We've got the Korean mozzarella.
Is that
dogs.
you in the
This one is
background,
sweet
husband?
Potato, which I've never had a sweet potato Korean corn dog before. We've got some chili shrimp in the back, an army stew. And with that being said, you know, sometimes when I'm in New York, I want to put in my earbuds and I want to run around the city and I want to act like I'm in one of those romantic comedies.
You gonna get
where they're
attacked by
this
rats.
is the main character. This is the dweeby little girl that this random dude is going to fall in love with, standing on the street corner, waiting for the light to turn with the wind blowing in her hair. Yeah, that's what I want to feel like. And I can't do that without my Raycons. I'm
that
not
was
a crazy
good.
audio person. Like, I'm not like Charlie Peaks. I can't sit there and decipher what octave, what noise is, but I'm super picky about if it
I
fits.
see what you
like, if I
did
can lay
there.
on my side without having something jabbing into my ear.
I don't want
Raycon
Raycon headphones though, Stephanie.
Or if I'm jogging on a treadmill, and Raycons are the only earbuds that I have found that give me that crispy, clean audio. It sounds so good. I mean, I could be listening to a movie, a podcast, a song, an audiobook, and Raycon turns it into like a whole experience.
Yeah, hey.
I love the
I
audio
don't want
quality.
Raycon.
I love that I can go on noise isolation.
I don't want Raycon until they gave me a deal.
Just
Oh,
get
me.
so submerged
Oh.
into whatever I'm listening to. Just
I'm
so
really
absorbed.
focused on that
Or when
Korean
I'm out, I
sweet
can do
potato
awareness
heart
mode so that
corn
I can
dog.
keep track of my surroundings as well. I have really annoyingly sized ear holes. I think everyone's ear holes
What
are a
did
little
that mean?
different. But like, can you imagine? We all just put in the same earbuds? That doesn't make sense. Raycons
True.
come with optimized gel tips for the perfect in-ear fit. They're so comfortable and they will not budge. Trust me. The Raycon everyday earbuds look, feel, and sound better than ever. They offer 8 hours of playtime and a 32-hour battery life, and you get all of this amazing
32 hours is
crispy,
actually pretty
clean
good, I ain't gonna lie.
audio at just half the price of other premium audio brands.
How much?
There is a reason that Raycon everyday earbuds have over 50,000 5-star reviews. We have been on the plane more often these days, and even when I fall asleep and my head is like banging around on the plane, they never fall out, they never budge, they never jab into my ears. Super discreet. I love it so much. So make sure to check the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/bis to get 15%.
You know what I'm saying? We only sat through this ad because we love Stephanie.
And
You
it's like
feel me?
New Year's.
Anybody
so, you know,
else
people
would
are
have been
listening to more
scared
audiobooks.
on me.
I don't know.
On me.
Food for thought. So that's buyraycon.com/bis. And thank you, Raycon, for sponsoring today's video. Yay! I'm very excited.
I would like
just say
to chew
something about
on my
Koreans?
mic.
That's
I
a
ain't gonna
loaded
lie.
statement.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'm Korean, okay? But that's a loaf of bread. That's a
That's
loaf of
thick
bread.
right there.
Yes, so this is the bacon and cheese one. These are really popular in Korea. They're like breakfast egg toast. And it's all on this like milk bread. It's almost like a shakopan, I think is what you call it. It's like a Japanese style bread. The Koreans are going to hate me if I say that, but I think it's a Japanese style bread. Or maybe it's a buttery version. It's very fluffy.
So fluffy.
Yes. I actually take out a little bit because it's
Oh, I love that.
so fluffy.
Everything's so delicate.
I got food coming soon.
Fluffy, it's soft, but it's not overpowering.
I gotta
This one is
get
ham and
Korean
cheese.
food.
You might like this
I need to
one.
try kimchi. Whoa, oh,
That's amazing.
that
The
looks so.
egg is fluffy. I want to try the sweet potato.
Cheers.
Oh
Cheers.
God,
Mm-hmm.
how that's tasting?
Oh,
Oh, it got cheese in the middle. Oh, pull it.
how's it taste though?
You're gonna like the sweet potato.
Is it healthier?
No. It's so sweet. It's the sweet and salty combination, but
What is that? Is that
I'm
just
not
a
really a
corn dog?
fan.
Sweet
It
potato
looks
fries
genetically
or regular-
modified.
Regular fries.
What? You know sweet potato fry costs more.
No.
Which means
Bruh,
it's better.
who's choosing sweet potato fries over regular fries? I know
This is supposed to be a mozzarella dog, and I got a corn dog.
Oh, what?
Give me your potato. One. I like when it's like that great mixture of salty and sweet,
Yeah.
but that one is a little overpoweringly sweet. Okay, I got some dips here. Wow, I don't even know where to start.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
try the
ooh,
double
I don't even know what this video about. I ain't gonna
I'm
lie.
gonna
Like the
try
food got me
potato
in
croquette dipped into
trance.
this. I don't even know if it's supposed to be dipped into this.
This is a rice cake
You do
fries.
whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's truffle.
You could dip whatever
Or
you
truffle
dip.
flavored. Fake truffle.
I don't know. What is that? Is that hash brown?
What's that?
Wow, potato croquette. It's like
Oh,
deep
it's-
fried mashed potatoes. Is the best way to
It's-
describe
it's
the
just a
consistency.
thick
The
hash
inside
brown.
is like pure mashed potatoes. The outside is wonderfully breaded,
Oh.
amazingly deep fried. It genuinely
Oh.
tastes like deep fried mashed potatoes.
That sounds
He's not a fan of
bussin'.
mashed potatoes. He's not a
I
fan
like-
of anything that you can eat at Thanksgiving. He always judges me because I'm obsessed with Thanksgiving food, and he always stands there and goes, "Why is it so mushy?"
I'm trying to understand, right? Please don't get offended.
We won't, bro. I won't.
Start.
Why does
Todd, say what you
everything
gotta say, husband.
Mashed potato, the stuffing is basically mushy. The green beans are kind of mushy. Like everything's kind of mushy. I don't get it, but you like it.
I like Thanksgiving food during Thanksgiving. I don't think I could eat it often though. Like to eat stuffing not during Thanksgiving feels illegal.
I don't
Okay,
like
let's take a bite of
stuffing.
this,
I ain't
and then
gonna
we're
lie.
getting into today's very long video.
I don't like green beans. I love mashed potatoes. I love ham.
What are we talking about?
That's really all.
We're talking about Chris Wu.
Oh la la. Oh la la.
Fancy truffle tteokbokki before, I don't know, someone tries to kill me.
Bro. Who is this Chris Wu? I completely forgot this video was about him. I ain't gonna lie. I thought this.
Very
thought this was a
good.
move.
Do I recommend this restaurant? Maybe not.
Speak,
it's quite
nigga.
expensive. I'm not going to lie to you.
Mukbang. How much was it? You not gonna tell me, Stephanie? What are them balls? Are those
Crispy
meatballs?
tofu. Okay, let's try the
Tofu?
tofu.
What is the consistency of tofu?
Okay.
Ain't that vegan? Like,
I've had that.
Yeah.
I ain't too
There's a
sure,
place
bro.
called How Noodle House that had crispy tofu. The tofu that they used on the inside is soft. It was almost watery. It was almost milky as you bite into it. It feels like gelatin, but the
I don't-
outside was crispy and covered in this like 5 spice powder. Oh, I keep thinking about that. Maybe I'll do a mukbang on that. But maybe I won't because maybe I won't be alive by then. Because we're talking about Chris Wu today.
Why are you
As
dying?
much as
Don't
I
do
love you
that.
guys, sometimes I think that you wish for me to be impaled by a giant spear one day and just plop over dead. Because you
No.
guys love to request cases that are going to get me in what I assume is going to be a lot of trouble. Cases that I normally would not touch with a 10-foot pole, like today's case. The case of Chris motherfrickin' Wu. Look, I'm not
Motherfrickin'-
religious, but this case,
What?
the
What?
scary comments, I already know that I'm going to get on this case. They make me want to get down on my knees and say a little prayer for my safety and my mental health. Okay, that's a worthy disclaimer. So with that being said, let's
My fault. It
get
was blasting in y'all
started.
ears.
This is the story of Chris Wu and how he transformed from this global pop star extraordinaire, one of the highest earning stars in China with an estimated net worth, a rumored net worth of $300 to $400 million. Google will tell you
Damn.
it's around 9 million, and that doesn't even make
What?
sense.
What?
Because
How?
yeah. I don't know. Google's like things are weird, I guess, for Chinese stars.
9 million. Like
Yeah.
there was like a couple years ago, there was a huge scandal in China.
Fan Bing Bing?
Fan Bingbing, yes. So they are exposing all the celebrity on how much they're getting paid per show and stuff.
Yeah,
And these celebrities are getting paid tens of millions for one movie.
that's crazy.
One movie or one TV show. And in
Damn.
comparison, there was also, I saw a clip of Korean celebrities
Oh yeah.
reacting to, have you seen that?
No, but I saw the videos revealing how much.
I like that the
Korean
husband's talking more in
celebrities
this.
get per K drama episode.
Yeah.
And it's a lot, don't get me wrong. That's like an obscene amount of money. But when then you compare it to people like in America or even in China, I was
Yeah.
like, that's nothing.
Yeah, there was an episode. A bunch of Korean celebrity reviewing. So there's a
Wow.
couple of them went to China. to film something. And they were like telling them how much they were getting paid in China for a show. And then all the other celebrities are like, oh my God. Like, they're all like, they're ready to move.
It's crazy. Is it because you guys have more people, maybe? So he goes from one of the highest
So
earning
the
stars in
husband-
China
the husband's
to Toothpick
Chinese.
Lou. Yeah, that's what they started calling him. You know why they call him Toothpick, don't you? It's not
No.
because he had gaps in his teeth. They were referring to the size
Oh,
the
oh.
frivolous body part between his legs. So he went from Chris Lou extraordinaire to Toothpick Lou, and then finally Convict Lou. At one point, somewhere in the middle, he became an international meme, but the reality of today's story is a lot more sinister and creepier than just memes. And it all starts with this kid. I'm taking you all the way back. Chris Wu didn't have the most marketable childhood
Oh,
story.
you
for the
taking
people
me
to
back.
rally behind.
Okay.
Like IU. You know, the K-pop star? She was born into poverty. Her parents were in massive debt. She was living in her grandparents' house that was infested by cockroaches. And she said before, there is nothing harder than poverty. Even BTS's Yoongi, he said that he would have $2 a day. And he would have to choose between the
I knew it. I just knew my dog Yugi was born into hoodness, bro. Why is he so cool?
Childhood story for the people to rally behind. Okay, like IU. You know, the K-pop star? She was born into poverty.
Beautiful.
Her parents were in massive debt. She was living in her grandparents' house that was infested by cockroaches. And she said before, there is nothing harder than poverty. Even BTS's Yoongi, he said that he would have $2 a day. And he would
Beautiful.
have to choose between the bus or food. He
Oh
didn't
my
have enough
God.
for both. Chris Wu did not
That's a
have
real nigga
that
right there. That's my
underdog,
mans.
like, ooh, I want to
That's
root
really
for
my
this guy
mans,
type
like-
of story. That's not to say that he didn't grow up with struggles, but it's just, from what I can find, it's a rather privileged background.
I remember when I was young, there's a few times I was like, if I don't take the bus today, if I walk, I will save like $1 because bus costs $1.
Yes!
So I will have an extra $1. I will save like $1 because
Oh,
bus costs
God.
$1.
Yes!
So I will have
Oh,
an extra
God.
$1 I can save for snacks in the future.
Well, Chris Wu didn't have to do that. Okay, his hardworking parents were super sucked into their business. Chris at one point was raised by his grandparents, and for a while things were going great until his parents got a divorce. He's 10 years old at this point. Chris's mom was like, I'm freaking over it. Like, I'm out. Not only am I out of this relationship, not only am I out of this maritable home or this town, but I'm out of the country. Goodbye, loser. She left her husband, packed her bags, took Chris all the way to Canada. Do you know how hard that is? Not just to travel to the other side of the world, but for a Chinese citizen to get into Canada at the time, one of the easiest ways in getting approved for a visa was getting an investor visa. But you needed to prove that you had nearly $1 million of assets, and you had to invest $500,000 into a government project. So the government would return the principal after 5 years, but still.
Wait, so she had that saved up?
Yeah, I don't know if
Shorty
things
got
changed,
racks.
but that's insane. And that's what Chris's mom does. And it's just the two of them living in Canada now. Now, Chris's mom is living off the savings that she brought with her. She did not work for like nearly 7 years.
Damn.
I'm not sure if she was becoming depressed. I don't want to speculate. But it said that she rarely socialized. She's withdrawing from society. She's withdrawing from outside contact. She starts getting more and more strict with Chris. I think she turned all of this energy and anxiety and pent up emotions and just dumped it on her kid. And she's like, I got big, big plans for you, kid.
A lot
You're
of
gonna
parents
study
be doing
hard,
that.
Get into a prestigious medical school, like the type of school that everyone's eyes go wide the minute that you mention the name of the school, that prestigious. And from there, you're gonna be a doctor. You're gonna get married, have some kids, and bada bing, bada boom, so easy. You're gonna live a good
Bada
life.
bing, bada
You're gonna take care
boom.
of yourself, your family, your wife, but also me, because I'm the one that made this happen. I'm your mother, and you're gonna be forever grateful to me. That's the type of mom that she was. That was her plan.
That's
And
scary.
she did not tolerate anything that wavered from this little master plan of hers. She decided that she knew what was going to make Chris happy more than he knew. She was an intense mom.
I like to imagine that the husband is in the
I heard he
background
was a
just
basketball
chowing down. He's just like,
Fun fact, I ran into Chris Wu once
what?
at the gym.
Oh, yeah.
At the-
I didn't know who he was at the time.
I didn't know
Yeah.
who he was.
Yeah.
When I ran into him, it was Rap of China, right? Or before Rap of China.
Before.
It was before Rap of China. Ah. Because Rapper of China, when Rapper of China happened, he was huge at that
Yes.
moment. In
I
China,
never
he
heard
was
of my
became
dog.
a sensation.
He ain't my dog. He's a
I'm gonna
creepy
walk you
killer,
through
I'm
it.
assuming.
Let's
But
see where you fit into this timeline. Be like, this was the year that he met my fiance. Changed his life, okay? So ultimately, they had a pretty strained relationship. She was just way too involved in his life, to the point where if he was playing a video game, she would waltz over to the outlet and just unplug the computer in
That's
the middle
some
of his game.
foul shit,
Chris
bro.
was so fed up, he ran away from home multiple times.
Damn.
So after 5 years
Damn.
in Canada, feeling lost, stressed, confused, the two go back to China for a little while. Chris goes to middle school in China. Oh, he freaking loved it. He felt like he fit in, and he was taller than a lot of his classmates. So naturally, everyone was like, you need to try playing basketball. He did. He was on the team. He was the leader. He was the captain of that school. And they
Oh.
won the Southern China Championship for middle schoolers that year.
What?
Is it a big deal?
It's middle school.
Yeah, I know that. You're like, what? I'm like, I didn't
yeah.
I don't know he was that good.
yeah, I didn't know if that was that impressive. So he's like, okay, mom, I peaked in middle school, so I'm gonna go to the CBA. You're like, what's that?
Yeah.
It's the NBA, but instead of national, it's China, the Chinese Basketball Association. Yeah, his mom, she didn't approve. She told him, that's not a career.
I'ma
What are
go
you
to the
talking about?"
CBA.
Actually, now that I think about it, you're forbidden from playing basketball as a hobby because
Wow.
technically it's dangerous. You could sprain your ankle or your wrist and then you can't be a surgeon anymore, or you could get bonked on the head with a basketball and lose all of your brain cells. So, nope, no more basketball. She forcibly dragged him all the way back to Vancouver so that he could focus on his studies again, and it just added more and more strain to their relationship. Chris said that he frequently ran away from home just to stop arguing with his mom. He
Damn.
said that he understood her, like he gets it. It's a single-parent household. It's not easy for her. This is the only relationship that she has. But it's tough for him because there's not this third person or a middleman to help mediate. And then 2 years later, Chris Wu was discovered. Oh, discovered. He was discovered by a Korean talent scout company, SM Entertainment. Huge, massive. Like, if you know K-pop, you know SM Entertainment. Chris was
I've heard,
scouted, and
I
he's
think.
like, Mom, I really, really want to go. In the beginning, his mom was doing the whole, no, absolutely not, over my dead
SM
body,
Entertainment.
you
I've
little
heard that name before,
but
right?
I think that she probably
Chad,
sensed
have I heard that
he
before?
might run away if she said no. So she was hoping, I think she was hoping that she'd be like, yeah, you can go. And then at the last minute, he would chicken out because he doesn't even know Korean and suddenly he's going to move to South Korea and join the entertainment industry. Like, that sounds crazy, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe she thought that he would go and fail out of the trainee program in a week or two. But she ends up driving him to the airport. He cries and apologizes and is like, bye. And he boards the plane. She wasn't expecting it. He boards the plane to South Korea. It was the first time Chris Wu really rebelled against his mom, and it was like a huge turning point in his life. And he was officially thrust and living in the difficult life of K-pop trainees who are just trying to make it. Can't even imagine how
Okay.
hard it is. Like, I heard it's borderline impossible. The stress, the pressure, manipulation,
I heard that
anxiety,
shit.
depression. I mean, imagine. But Chris
Yeah.
had his mom. Chris's mom was a lot. Anytime he complained about anything, even the smallest little hardship, his mom would pity him so much. I imagine her to be the type that's like, oh my God, my brave son. Are you sure the paper cut is healing? You should just quit paper in general. You should go digital. Never touch paper again. Like, that's the vibe that she
My
gives
mom
me.
would tell me,
It
"But-
sounds dramatic,
niggas-"
but apparently she tried to get him to quit every time he had the smallest obstacle because she felt so bad that he was stressed out. I don't understand moms like that. But
Yeah,
he did
that's
really
just
work
not
hard, I guess.
good.
You can't knock him on that. He trained really hard for 5 years, and in 2012, he debuted with EXO. And then after 2 short years with EXO, he sued SM Entertainment, terminated his contract, and left the group and went to China.
What?
It was shocking. A lot of people felt like it was kind of a betrayal, but I don't know. There were a lot of mixed feelings because Chris had a lot of people supporting him. K-pop companies are notorious for having insane working conditions. They're crazy for their predatory contracts and their unfair treatment. So a lot of people just kind of assumed the worst from SM Entertainment and they started supporting Chris. He goes back to China and everyone is all over him. The companies are foaming at the mouth to work with this guy. His exit from EXO was massive. It was like a huge scandal almost. So all eyes and ears are on this guy to see what he's gonna do next.
Low-key a
where
smart
his career
strategic
is going.
move.
Do the Chinese
Marketing
even want him
move.
back? And all these companies are like, while you have the eyes and the ears,
Yeah.
we want you to wear our clothes. We want to be a part of that. He starts getting booked for movies, TV shows, variety shows, which are like reality shows, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
kind of different. They're not like Love Island type of reality shows.
They're like
more
game shows.
Celebrity-focused reality shows. Like a bunch of celebrities come together and they do like games and stuff.
Oh, I was
the
right.
giant
Hey.
fashion houses reached out to him, wanting him as a brand spokesperson. And the crazy thing is, Chris Wu originally didn't even sign with an agency when he returned to China. He set up his own studio. He hired his mom to be his agent / manager. She was his momager. And
You know how big they were? So there's 4 Chinese guys who came from EXO. So they all came to China, right?
do you know all their names?
I know their Chinese name. Yeah. One of them is Luhan. So
Mm-hmm.
Chris Wu, Luhan, and then there's a couple others.
I don't
They
know
were
none
so
of these
big
niggas.
to a point that one of the guy took a photo with a mailbox
Mm-hmm.
on his Instagram. He took a picture. And that mailbox, for days, there was a line for days of the fans taking picture with the same mailbox. Like days. That's the influence they had. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, she was the momager to that. Like, she didn't have.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Like, I don't know if I refuse to let the influence of somebody affect me that much. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I don't care if Jesus took a picture with the mailbox. What that got to do with me? I don't know, bro. Maybe I'm just weird.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, she was the momager to that. Like, she didn't have experience, and it went as
Momager
as well
is
as you would
crazy.
expect. Suddenly, she had to oversee his finances, his contracts, all of his business obligations. She had no idea anything about this industry. It was a lot. So they later hired a well-known agent in the industry, which becomes like a whole scandal later because they apparently didn't pay them. They like cut them off later on and then didn't pay them certain amounts that they were owed. It's very intense. And it was pertinent for them to build a brand in China quickly. Their whole idea was we need to build an image in China before that image is built upon us. Before other people are like, oh, this is the type of person Chris Wu is. So we need to start pushing this narrative. And the aesthetic that Chris Wu went with was that he looks tall and he looks kind of scowly. Sorry. I would say he has sharp features that don't necessarily strike me as very kind. Conventionally very attractive, but I would never look at him and be like, oh my god, like he looks so nice and
You know,
sweet.
like a soft.
Yeah, like he doesn't have like
I see what you're
soft,
saying. I
like,
see what you're saying.
smiley
Yeah, his features
right?
are sharp.
I guess
Yeah,
like
you're
a
right.
He looks
comparison.
sharp, yeah.
Yes, very sharp.
Do
to the
I
point
have
where
sharp
he almost
features?
looks like that high fashion, almost angry kind of look, right? So I think because of the contrast, they decided that they were gonna market him as this innocent, friendly boy. Yes, he might look like that, but deep inside his heart, softy, just so soft.
That's just
what
cap.
his agent wanted
How
him
he
to
look
be.
is how he
and
is,
they said
like-
that the contrast between his look and his reality, that was the spice, and it freaking worked. Chris Wu started getting booked out. He even went to the Grammys. He attended an NBA All-Stars game. He became one of the most
Justin
well-known
Bieber.
stars, not only in China but globally. In 3 years, he starred in 10 movies. The total box office for his hit movies was $811 million. That's nearly $1 billion.
Oh God.
Wait, they made 800.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because
Bro, who making all that noise outside my door, bro?
They made 800.
yeah.
Wow.
Because at that point, what's an extra 200 million? So I'm rounding up, almost $1 billion.
No,
I mean,
it's a
Chris
good
Wu
round,
was
I ain't gonna
who
lie.
everyone wanted to be and who everyone wanted to date. His image was unstoppable. He was the it boy.
But
Yeah.
just gotta say, I don't think those movies were very good.
That's what I heard. I heard his acting is
I ain't never seen the movies.
subpar.
It's pretty cringy.
Yeah.
I've never watched it, but
Would
I've
you still
never
watch
heard
a
of
movie
this.
if the acting is cringy? Like, can you finish it, or you're like, okay.
Yeah, nah.
Well,
If
a
the
lot of
acting
them,
is
they hired him
cringy, I'm
just
done.
to get his fan base
Yeah,
into the
yeah,
theater.
yeah,
Like
literally.
The other actors can still be good. Just he's horrible.
And in 2016, he finally signed with Jackie and JJ Productions, run by Jackie Chan, who allegedly took Chris
shit.
Wu under his wing, like really liked him apparently. And to have Jackie Chan as your mentor, as
that's-
almost like your
that's-
pseudo godfather in this business, that's
Jackie Chan,
big.
my mans.
That means you have some of the biggest names backing you behind closed doors. Like
Oh,
the power that
God.
Jackie Chan has, the more Chris Wu is getting booked, the more he's getting paid. His rate just keeps going up, doubling. And then the Peter effect took place. You know what the Peter effect is? The Peter effect is a theory about what happens in the workplace. People keep getting promoted because they're a great, competent employee until they get promoted so many times that they are now incompetent for the role that they have been promoted to. So eventually everybody becomes Peters, and that is why a lot of the workforce feels unproductive, is what the theory is. I'm not saying I agree with this.
What do you mean a lot of people become Peters?
Like, they all get promoted until they are incompetent in their job. And so sometimes that's why employees will complain, like, why does management all feel like so useless? It's because they're all Peters. They've all been promoted to the point where now they
Police officers
for their managerial position. And all the employees are like, do you guys know anything about anything? Why do you guys suck so hard? Chris Wu got petered because he was getting paid a lot, but everyone was like, wait a damn minute. He kind of sucks at acting. Did anyone notice? Like, yikes. They're not good.
Yeah.
Apart from a few films that he starred in, they, they were done by an amazing team and cast. The other films, they had abysmal ratings.
Damn.
Some of them in the single digits. Everyone had a problem with his cringe acting, but who cares? Who cares? Everyone loves the guy. He went on show after show, and everyone is curious. Why is this guy single? What are you looking for in a partner, you know? Give the fans at home some hope that you're single because you're waiting for one of them to show up in your life right now. And this should have been a huge red flag. His criteria for looking for a spouse is that she had to look angelic. She had to look pure. He wanted someone innocent, very clean, not a lot of makeup. That's what he said.
我喜欢那个长得特别的像天使一样的女孩，干干净净的，就特别看上去很单纯的，不太喜欢就那个就妆不用特别的浓，简单一点。
That's a raging red flag.
Oh, God.
And then he said that his mom needed to be happy with his choice. In fact, compared to what he wanted, his mom's preference was even more important to him.
我觉得我反正还好啊，我妈真的是特别特别的严格，反正这点确实我还是会听我妈的。我觉得。
But at the time, internal biases were at play. Confirmation bias. Everyone liked Chris. So they had confirmation bias, and they're like, aw, he really respects his mom. He will respect his wife. Wow.
No.
The starting signs. The house of Chris Wu was rotten from the inside. Termite damage, mold. I mean, from the inside, things weren't looking great. But from the outside, everyone is like, wow, look at this beautiful mansion. But June 14th of 2016, the first crack was exposed. But like most things, the first crack is never taken seriously. Unless it's a butt crack. Sorry. When there's a pattern of cracks or a series of cracks, that's when people are like, wait a minute.
I do take the butt crack seriously.
So the first crack was an influencer named Little Gina. She was less than 20 years old, and she looked like an angel. That's how everyone described her.
She was less than how, 20?
She decided to tweet at Chris Wu, and she wrote, "From Vancouver to Canada, then to Shanghai and Beijing. In these unfamiliar cities, I have no relatives or friends. Every day I hold my phone at home and I wait for your messages. But now you've disappeared. You neither answer my WeChat messages nor my calls. Do you remember what you said to me? Reply to me even if you want to break up. What is the point of ghosting me?" At Chris Wu. And to show Chris that she was serious, she didn't come to play. She posted screenshots of their chats and audio messages that showed that the two had sex, and Chris completely ghosted her after that. She even posted a picture of her and Chris Wu in a hotel room where Chris was falling asleep next to her. And little Gina claimed that she was confused, heartbroken. She just wanted answers for why she was being ghosted. And since he wasn't responding to her, she felt like this was the only way to get his attention. She felt like she had been backed in a corner. Which, side note, one of the messages that she exposed, she was apparently going over to Chris's place to talk to him, and he texted her, "If you're coming, we'll talk when you get here." And she responded, "I'm here. Do I just get a room by myself? You still haven't woken up yet?" He responded, "No, my mom's here. Seriously." He's like 30 at this point. Meaning he couldn't see her because his mom was with him, and he was serious about it. Okay? The internet went wild with that one text. They dragged him less for ghosting little Gina, but for being little mama's boy. Anyway, Chris Wu denied the story, and a few celebrities, including a very famous director, defended him, and the internet moved on. The only impact that it had on Chris Wu was that it made him more famous. He was getting more attention. It was like a mini controversy, like what the Kardashians do, but it was like great for PR. In 2017, Chris Wu was invited to be on the host, or to host one of the hottest shows at the time. Oh, so you met him after, I think, then.
2017.
What was the show?
I don't know.
Well, he was a host on Rap of China.
Oh my god.
Let me tell you. This guy is obsessed with Rap of China. He watched Rap of China every day. I would hear Rap of China in the background, and I'm like, "Are you serious right now?"
I'll tell you, it's a pure. It all started with pure, like curiosity. It's like when you first discover mukbang. It's just like pure, like what the is this? You know, I've never in my whole life ever heard Chinese rapper. It just sounds so weird. It's like it's almost
Is
like
it
a
good,
kink or
though?
something. Like when I listen to it, I'm just like, I can't believe these people. And then Chris Wu was so bizarre on there too. Everything is so bizarre.
Why was
about
he
it.
bizarre on there?
The first episode I saw was he's like wearing this big cape. He walks out with a cape and he's like, and he's so serious. Like anyone who watched Rap of China would know. Like he's so serious. He doesn't even smile. The whole time he's like looking into all these quote rappers' eyes and be like, "You got freestyle? You got freestyle?" And then you see these like rappers, they're all fumbling, like they don't know what to do. They're like, yeah, and then they rap like the most cringy rap I've ever heard. It's just such a show that I can't stop watching.
可以一人来一段 freestyle 吗？你有 freestyle 吗？有 freestyle 吗？
What the?
But some people were good.
Yeah. And then you
got freestyle?
Obviously, there are good ones too. And then I
Yeah.
become a fan to some of them.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am a fan of some people that were on there.
Yeah,
oddly
yeah.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who's the girl that I love?
Lexi Liu,
But the other one too.
Vava.
Vava, yes.
Yeah.
It's where a bunch of contestants
Vava
come
kinda
on
bad,
to
though.
rap. And there's a panel of judges, rappers, who will critique them, coach them, eliminate them, and there's a lot of wild moments. It's basically like The Voice, but rap version. And
That's
Chris
kinda hard.
Wu was a fan favorite on the show. Every single episode that launched, he would have kind of bizarre outfits, if I can say so objectively. But every episode, people would find out where every shirt, every accessory was from. They would screenshot it, post the outfit information. Instantly, everything would sell out.
That's
They weren't even cheap
glazing.
pieces. It was like Rick Owens, Bulgari watches. Since everything he wore instantly sold out, it seemed that his real niche was fashion. I guess everybody loved his fashion. So he started a variety show centered around fashion. And to really solidify his space in the fashion industry, he landed some pretty big deals. He was invited to the Met Gala. He became one of the first non-British global spokespersons of Burberry. I hate saying Burberry. Okay, did you know I
Burberry?
worked there for 2 days? Yeah, it was the worst. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was probably like top 5 worst places I've ever worked in my life.
you have to do?
Wow, the culture there is bizarre. I don't know if it's just that one store, but they're like, you can't say Burberry. It sounds dumb. I'm like, you're dumb. That's rude. I'm leaving. Okay, so anyway, he became a global spokesperson, which I didn't know there were.
That's
ways to
dumb
do
as
it.
crazy.
But it goes like this. For international brands, you can be quoted as a friend of the brand. That means the brand kind of likes you. They're not committed. You guys are just kind of seeing each other. They might dress you here and
Acquaintances
there.
type
Then you
vibes.
become a brand ambassador. That's a step up. The brand likes you. They might dress you. You're somewhat associated with this brand for a while,
Tight
right?
shit.
And then top tier brand spokesperson. That's like you and the brand are like this. And
Locked
your bank
in.
account is like this. Even then, there's levels to it. You could be a spokesperson for the region, for the continent, right? For Eastern Asia, North America, or you could be a global spokesperson.
So the highest is global.
Yeah, gotta
But
be.
there's layers to that,
Universal is
too.
the highest. Gotta be.
So there's product-specific spokespeople. So you could be a
Oh my
regional
God, bro.
spokesperson for a series of products. So that's like their athletic line. You're like a spokesperson just for their athletic line or just for their jewelry line. Or you could be the top tier is full product line, full global ambassador.
Like you are the brand.
You are the brand.
You
and
are
the
Burberry.
yeah,
You
are
speak for the
Burberry,
brand,
You're
yeah.
not just a Burberry trench coat. You are Burberry.
Wow, he was that.
He was that.
Damn.
Yeah.
And then he
yeah.
was Louis Vuitton, right?
Yeah, and apparently after he signed with Burberry, their sales in the third quarter increased by 22%.
Wow.
I mean, how
22%
much
is
of that
crazy.
is Chris? I guess we don't know. Maybe Burberry knows, but that's insane. So
Yeah.
from there, when his contract or relation
Because BTS signed with a couple brands. I wonder how great their brands have grown.
Burberry knows, but that's insane. So from there, when his contract or relationship ended, he starts working with Louis Vuitton as a global spokesperson for them in 2018. And then in 2019, he became the spokesperson for Bulgari Watch in China. So not globally. And then he
I gotta
was the
get a brand deal with
spokesperson of
Louis
Porsche
Vuitton,
China
purely 'cause my name is
Motorsport
Louis.
in 2021.
Porsche?
Oh yeah. He
So-
was doing a lot of races in Porsche.
Yeah.
Yes.
Side note about the Porsche deal, okay? Chris decided that he was gonna dabble in potential racing career because, you know, that's pretty cool. Like, vroom vroom. He's the whole I want to be a bad boy aesthetic. Mama's boy coming through, beep beep. And Chris broke a lot of records. Unfortunately, they were all his own records. And during that time, rumors about potential relationships were still raging on in the background. But
Hold on, I need to use the bathroom. Shawty said, yo, Stephanie, you my man. I ain't gonna lie, you my man. Talking about some mama's boy coming through, BP. Little shot she's throwing is really deadly though. Don't get it twisted. She can really, is she from South Korea? Cause she giving me New York vibes. I ain't gonna cap to you, bro.
in that time, rumors about potential relationships were still raging on in the background. But most single celebrity, A-list celebrities, I imagine, have those rumors. In 2019, he was spotted. He was spotted holding hands with a 21-year-old named Luna Chen. It was all over the tabloids. Luna decided to take to social media to silence the rumors. She wrote just one tweet about it. She wrote, "I've always respected Chris Wu. We are not dating, and we don't have a story for you." For some reason, people did not like her statement. I don't know why. I thought it was a regular statement.
Me too.
People did not like her holding hands with Chris Wu because immediately she became the target of backlash and bullying. A ton of people started accusing her of being a little schemer. They suspected that she did all of this to gain attention. She wanted to become a big social media star, and that is why she's doing this. The narrative turned from, oh my god, Chris Wu is dating someone, to Luna is manipulating Chris Wu's gentle feelings, tricked him into thinking that they were in love, and then called the paparazzi on them in the parking lot, made this picture go viral
Come
and
on,
get leaked,
bro.
and now he's trying to become famous off of the incident.
Come on.
A lot of people started to feel bad for Chris. Listen, that is some crazy PR team going on.
Oh God.
I'm just saying, we
Oh,
can feel bad
God.
for anyone. It doesn't matter. But a 30-year-old man with that amount of power, fame, and money, we can't sit here and act like they're innocent. We can't sit here and be like, oh my god, they're just waiting for love.
Speak on it,
Come on.
Stephanie.
So a lot of people started to feel bad for Chris.
Stephanie, my
They
mans,
said that
for
he
real,
was
I
just a
ain't gonna
pure
lie.
boy who longed for love, and he was just so naive, and we must protect him at all costs. Chris got no hate, not saying that he should get hate for a dating rumor, but Luna got a ton of hate. And Chris, his image of being this pure boy looking for true love only deepened, which, again, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, what in the romance novel trope is this? You're telling me that he can't find a single girl that he wants to settle down with him,
Like, come
and
on,
he's just
bro.
waiting for the right one? You watching at home, he's waiting for you. I mean, I
No,
get it if he's like,
he's
I
not
can't
waiting
settle
for
down
me.
because of my career.
He's
But he
waiting
was
for a
really
prison
kind of
sentence,
leaning
according to
into
you.
the whole, I need love. So anyways, things calmed down after a while.
I don't need
until
no
another
love,
rumor
like-
quite literally almost broke the internet. Let's talk about DMZ. DMZ is what they call her, but her name is Du Meiju. And she was born in 2002.
Du
She's
Meiju.
a performing arts student. She had just taken the college entrance exam in 2020, so she's very young.
I was gonna say-
And she kept getting Fang Meng, a woman, and keep this in mind for later. So DMZ
Okay.
is rejecting
Fang
each and every
Meng.
request to
She's
meet
a
in
tree.
person because she's like, I don't care if you're Chris Wu's agent. This is weird. Why would I want to meet with you?
She's
And
a-
then the agent was even asking for her to come to a Werewolves of Miller's Hollow card game.
What? What is that?
Oh, long and
Yes,
shot.
with Chris Wu.
It's the same game.
Yes,
we
it's
play.
like Mafia, but
Yes,
apparently
Mafia.
you guys do it in like buildings or something. Like you can go to a giant building and dress up.
Oh yeah. Yes,
play
yes,
card
like
games?
role play. Like much more intense type of game. Yes, very popular.
Yeah, the agent is like, do you want to come to this werewolves game? Chris Wu is going to be there. And she's like, no. And then December 5th of 2020, DMZ gets a text from Chris's agent. And she's like, Chris wants you to be the new leading role in his music video. Okay, now
Oh,
she's
shit.
like, the werewolves. I'm kind of interested. Can you blame her? Like, that's exciting. That's like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Yeah.
DMZ was expecting some sort of interview, some sort of process before the filming started because I'm sure he would want to meet her in person. But instead, the agent kept telling her that Chris Wu needs to meet you, yes, but he needs to meet you in his house because he's an A-list celebrity. He can't meet you in public. He doesn't want to be filmed. You have to meet at his house. Make sure that you're suitable for the role. DMZ was a little confused because why can't it be like an office or something? You know, she's a little bit nervous, but she thought it's still such a rare opportunity. And let's be real, this is an A-list celebrity. Why would any one of them risk their entire careers to do something shady?
Stop.
The agent is a woman.
Like, bro, you know what's so amusing about that statement? It seems like when people start to get money for real, they either self-destruct or they stop thinking like a regular human being, bro. I'm already a nigga that don't think normally. You know what I'm saying? You give me a bunch of money, bro, who knows what I'll do?
The agent is a woman, it'll be fine. She gets in the car, goes over to Chris's place, and instantly she feels better. The place was packed with a ton of people. Friends, entourage, people who worked for Chris, I don't know. But there were a ton of people there. Okay. But it was strange because the staff asked to take her phone. Oh yeah, she was nervous. She tried to reason that it made sense because, you know, what if she recorded something and leaked it? So they took her phone. She continues into the apartment, and she found out very quickly, to her disappointment, it was not a work gathering, but it was a drinking party. DMZ was stressed. She didn't know a single person in that room. She's not really a drinker, and they're all pushing drinks on her aggressively. They kept saying things like, you got a dream job to star in the music video. Don't you want to drink with your idol? Can't you just do one shot with your idol? Like, you guys have to know each other before the music video, just take a shot. DMZ felt like she couldn't say no. So she drank a bit too much.
I'm saying
she ended up
no!
throwing up and blacking out. And around 7 a.m., she woke up and she had sex with Chris Wu. She fell back asleep and then woke up again in a daze. So if she woke up again in a daze, it's speculated that she probably wasn't that super coherent when she engaged in sexual activity with Chris Wu. She said that she stared at the ceiling in bed for a while. She couldn't believe what just happened. Chris is laying next to her and everything felt just like a blur. She just wanted to get her clothes and run home and puke. She tried to get out of the bedroom as quietly as possible to not wake up Chris, but instead, Chris's cousin was sleeping in the living room. And basically, like, she couldn't get out without waking this person up. It was really uncomfortable. So this person is pertinent later. So now DMZ can't leave. She just has to wait in Chris's bedroom until the cousin wakes up so she could get out of there. She just said that she awkwardly stood in there for a while because she was just in so much shock. And Chris woke up and asked her, "Why are you standing?" He pulls her back into bed. She's clearly confused. And he tries to calm her down by saying, mind you, this is the first time they've ever met each other. This is the first time they've ever even spoken to each other. He said, be my girlfriend. I'll be responsible for you. I'll love you, take care of you for the rest of your life. I'll take you to meet my mom on Chinese New Year. I can help you with your career. He essentially love-bombed her. Now, to give you some perspective, she's 18 at this point.
And he's like,
she had,
what?
like, just turned 18. And she's young. And he's showering her with praise, attention. This is...
And Chris was already, what?
Like
30?
almost 30, I think,
almost 30. Yeah.
So just the age difference is a huge power imbalance, but think about the true power imbalance. A-list celebrity, the money, influence, fame, power that he had.
Yeah.
He essentially love-bombed her. And from even just a normal person, being love-bombed is a lot. But coming from the hottest celebrity in the nation, I mean, just think about the psychological confusion that she probably had.
Yeah,
DMZ said that she genuinely believed that Chris wanted to date her. And the two added each other on WeChat. She was so excited. You know, that was a scary, confusing night, yes. But now in her mind, she was at least convincing herself that it was the start of a love story, right? Which, I mean, I can totally see that. I don't know why so many people come for this poor girl. Like, it's beyond me. Just imagine your dream crushed.
Imagine blaming a victim, though. Like, she was a victim. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, bro.
Imagine your dream crushed who happens to be a celebrity starts showering you with love. Like, it's toxic, and there's no way to even help yourself but fall for it.
If Jimin just did that, yeah.
Honestly, Chris would even bring her around to his friends to make her feel special, make her feel like they were the real deal. And his friends were probably like, oh, he never brings girls around. Like, you're different. And for her birthday, he transferred her $5,000 to buy whatever she wanted, which DMZ felt super loved. But side note, DMZ came from a well-off family, and she had a monthly living allowance of nearly $15,000. So she's not a gold digger. She's not, like, out here trying to take him for his pennies and his,
15 bands a month, bruh.
You know, it's not like she was holding on to him to survive, which is the thing, because people think that she was out for money. She genuinely thought that they were dating, and she genuinely thought that he was falling in love with her because he was basically telling her that nonstop. But of course, everything had to be a secret. Nobody could know that they were dating because, you know, the industry. So after a few months of secretly dating, radio silence, she gets ghosted, just straight up ghosted. And then Chris Wu was photographed by the media with another girl. May 28th of 2021, Chris Wu was allegedly spotted on a date with a girl in a movie theater that he had booked out the whole theater. There's CCTV footage of them walking in together, walking out together, and even just sitting in the movie theater, just them two. Immediately, his team responded. They were pissed. They called out the theater for violating Chris's privacy, but they also said that Chris had booked the whole theater for a private showing for all of his friends, and the security footage was taken at a convenient time when the other friends hadn't joined them yet, because they all came at separate times. They said that someone edited the footage to make it seem like something it wasn't.
Oh, yeah?
The movie theater company issued a formal apology for violating the privacy of Chris Wu. They said the employee has been taken care of. Probably they were fired.
Oh,
but
okay.
also, they threw some tea into the fire.
Whoa.
They said, by the way, nothing was edited. Goodbye.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was another dating scandal. But then there was another one, like almost immediately after. Netizens found an influencer who had just turned 18 years old, and she was wearing a necklace, and it seemed like the one that Chris Wu had been wearing just recently. And I guess it's like a very special type of necklace, like not a very common one that you can just buy. And it became a whole thing. And it made sense because she was completely his vibe. She was pretty, just freshly turned 18. Super innocent, very pale. Apparently he liked pale girls. And there was a rumor that he was dating her too. And the whole time, DMZ is just on the side reading all the news, and she feels utterly gutted. She felt depressed after he ghosted her. I mean, she went from being in her own fairy tale, being love bombed by
This
him,
nigga Wu
and
is
being told that she was
sick,
special
bro.
and they were soulmates, to radio silence. She felt like she did something wrong, like it was her fault in some way, or she wasn't good enough in some aspect. DMZ's friends said that she went from being someone who was always on top of her grades, like top of her class, and now she couldn't even get out of bed to go to school anymore. It was a lot.
Damn.
It was actually her friend who ousted all of this to the public. Her friend took screenshots from DMZ's phone of Chris Wu with DMZ's permission.
I was about to
and
say,
all of their conversations,
yeah, okay,
even Chris
okay.
Wu sending her selfies, and shared the whole story.
What type
with
of
the whole
selfie?
world
This
of how
nigga
DMZ
took-
went to his house for, you know, a music video audition, and then they had
Yeah, he's
sex,
a
and then he
weirdo.
love bombed her, and then now she ghosted her, and the shock was instant. Everyone was confused. I mean, what? There's even a selfie that Chris texted her that had never been posted on the internet before. So, I mean, it had to be him, right? Well, his team responded the next day saying that DMZ needed to take the whole thing down because they were planning to file a lawsuit for infringing content. DMZ responded that she wasn't scared of being sued. She was over it now.
Oh, shit.
This is where things start.
Oh, God.
This is where things start.
DMZ is a real
Everyone is
nigga.
confused what the fork is going on. Everyone wants to know the tea, but just like Luna,
I like
everyone
spoons
starts
more than
accusing
forks.
DMZ of just doing this all for attention. Some people.
No, I like forks more than spoons. I feel like forks are more useful. You can only use a spoon for cereal and soup. Forks, you can. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Luna, everyone starts accusing DMZ of just doing this all for attention. Some people even commented on her socials, Chris Wu likes you. Has he ever seen you without makeup? All you're thinking about is growing a following and trying to trend on the news. You want to be famous so bad that you're going crazy. All of this for money, really? Chris Wu used this PR moment to promote his new song, and he wrote a cryptic tweet that said, "No snowflake in an avalanche ever feels responsible." Before you think the guy is smart. It's actually a famous line from a Polish poet, so he didn't come it. But it's like saying that everyone is responsible when an avalanche happens, meaning if someone gets
No, I don't-
incorrectly canceled off of fake news, then every single person who left a comment or pushed a narrative is responsible, even if they don't feel like they're responsible because they're just a regular person with no following and they're not media outlets. But yeah, Chris is basically saying that every commenter, every netizen that is throwing fuel to the fire is guilty and responsible. And then more news hit. July of 2022 is a busy month. DMZ alleged that Chris had a special WeChat account that was specifically used to add underage girls. He had a middleman choose them on the internet, and they had to fit this strict criteria. And once you listen to this, you're gonna gag. You're gonna want this man behind bars. He wanted only 18-year-olds, girls that were specifically born after the year 2000. And he would consider underage girls who were going to take the college entrance exam soon, meaning they were going to turn 18 soon. Allegedly. After that, he would have his agent invite the girls over under the premise of having them feature in his music video.
This
Then they
nigga
would push
is
all the drinks onto this girl,
sick.
DMZ said, and then he would take his chance to sexually assault these girls and tell them tender
that's
words
exactly what it
afterwards
is, bro.
so that they don't report it. Like, I will be responsible for you. Things like that. DMZ said she was exposing it all now because she said, I wanted to face everything bravely and live a new life, but now you let your fans harass and attack me. Don't be fooled by this perfect person in front of you. Deceived young girls, look at the facts. And sure enough, more and more girls started to come forward with similar stories about Chris Wu. DMZ said, the number of victims may have exceeded 12. Already 8 victims have reached out to me, including 2 underage girls.
Ooh.
DMZ said that she was bringing all of this to the internet because she wanted everyone to see Chris's true colors and not be fooled by this guy. This way, he can't hurt any more young girls. She said all the girls, all the victims just want a simple and sincere apology. Why is that so difficult? I don't think I have to put up with it anymore. Just wait and see. In a few days, the same victims will report to the police with evidence. So she's basically threatening.
Yo,
not
DMZ is a
threatening in the
real
sense that,
nigga, like...
threatening, but like, hey, you need to take accountability, otherwise we're going to force you to take accountability for your crimes. The pressure, the drama, the allegations, I mean, they were amping up.
Yeah.
DMZ accepted an exclusive interview with a media outlet, and she said that she had evidence that she was ready to file into a police report after sorting everything out, and she said that this evidence could put him behind bars for a really long time. She also talked about the death threats and harassment that she received online. I mean, it was brutal.
What was
Chris's
the
friends
evidence?
would say some pretty vile things like, didn't you say that you were depressed? Why don't you go yourself? Why don't you just call the police then? Are you scared that you have no evidence? Another commenter wrote, are you just a that anyone can sleep with? Someone wrote, what's the point of being alive? You're way too ugly to make this much drama happen. I hope you die soon.
Yeah, bro, that shit is so crazy. Wishing death upon somebody you don't even know simply because you support a celebrity, bruh. Bro, netizens be tweaking sometimes, bruh.
What's the point of being alive? You're way too ugly to make this much drama happen. I hope you die soon.
Crazy. That's some crazy shit.
Chris's fans still supported him, and at this point in time, he had a lot more supporters than haters. But as the screenshots come rolling in, the group becomes smaller and smaller, and they would say things like, she just wants to be famous. We gotta support Chris Wu in defending his rights, because regardless of this guy, this woman is not a saint in the first place. They were straight up saying things like they can see right through DMZ and they know that she just wants to be famous. I mean, she's doing the absolute most. But the rational Chris Wu fans, they tried to be impartial. They hoped that DMZ would go to the police, and if the allegations were true, then the police would hold Chris accountable, and they were disappointed that these allegations were coming out.
What did
But they were kind of waiting to see how things...
What did the diehard Chris Wu fans say when he ended up in jail? Oh, the police is rigged. I mean, it's false. Or what is the term?
And if the allegations were true, then the police would hold Chris accountable, and they were disappointed that these allegations were coming out. But they were kind of waiting to see how things played out. They didn't want to jump the gun either, but they didn't want to sit there and hate on DMZ and defend Chris Wu. They were just trying to be rational.
Bro,
So it
hating
was a
on
bit
the
of a
victim
shock
is
to
crazy.
everyone when the first news of a police report came out, and it was from Chris's mom.
Damn.
Chris Wu's mom reported to the police that her son was being blackmailed by DMZ. I'm sorry, what? So naturally, everyone assumed, yeah, DMZ is probably blackmailing them for money. For 2 days, it was pure chaos before DMZ responded to the allegations by saying she had been connected with other victims of Chris's, and they said that they had all been depressed, self-harming, some of them had abortions, some of them had contracted STDs. She confirmed to the public that she had filed a police report already, and she posted screenshots of her conversations with Chris Wu's team talking about money. So she's trying to be as transparent as possible, it seems. The truth is, yeah, she did talk to Chris's team about money. At first, Chris's team wanted to ask her, what do you want? Like, what do you want to take all of this down? What do you want to make this go away? And she wrote that she just wanted a public apology and for him to stop hiring spam accounts to smear her reputation. They responded that they never hired spam accounts and that he would never publicly apologize. It was impossible. Instead, they hoped that they could all reach a financial agreement. So DMZ did. She asked them for $1 million. She said that she was going to split it with 8 other victims, so that's 9 people splitting $1 million. And they hit her back with, we can do $140,000. with the condition that you delete all of your posts and post an apology letter that you keep up for at least 24 hours.
It's crazy because $1 million is literally nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, so
Nothing.
Google says he's worth 9 million. He's not. He's probably worth at least 100 million, if not more.
Way more,
Yeah,
yeah.
based on the
I mean,
crazy deals that he was getting in China. So,
bro,
okay, the reason I
Burberry
know that he's
brand
worth
deal,
more is
like-
because later he actually gets fined by the Chinese government for tax evasion, and they fined him $85 million. I'm assuming
That means you have to make way more than that to
Yeah.
be.
fined $85 million for tax evasion.
I would leave the planet. I would just leave the planet, bro. I'm not paying you. No, I don't care. I'm going to Mars. $85 million, bro.
Government for tax evasion, and they fined him $85 million.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
assuming
That means you have to make way more than that to
Yeah.
be.
fined $85 million for tax
You
evasion.
gotta be
tax,
stupid to
So
like
the
not
guy
pay
made more than
taxes,
85
bruh.
million freaking dollars. Okay,
Yeah.
he's got a lot of money. So $1 million really is nothing to keep his career. And I'm not saying that he should be doing this. I'm just saying it's on top of all of this. He's also
Yeah.
a cheap ass. Like what? They said $140,000. She's like, okay, maybe closer to like 400,000 because that's a lot of victims that we're splitting it amongst, and like none of us really have jobs because we all can't function like normal human beings because we're depressed and anxious. But they were like, we'll think about it. But you need to admit that you're wrong, and you need to admit that Chris did not engage in sexual activity with underage
Why are you
girls.
making the
And
victim
DMZ was pissed about that.
apologize?
She
That's
wrote in the text messages,
crazy.
I'm the one that was hurt. Why should I apologize?
Like,
and
right.
the person was like, just make the promise. What else can you get if you end up getting no money? There were more negotiations until
Wow.
they finally settled on $300,000 with a written guarantee, a contract, if you will. The staff even kindly provided her with an apology template for her to use and post online. It goes as follows. I was acting on impulse when I posted those things. I was hurt. I believed articles that weren't verified, but my suffering was true. It's been a few days, and I don't want to make a fuss. I don't want people to say that I'm looking for attention anymore. I'm exhausted. Let's just all settle down now. DMZ agreed, but she said that she wanted to add that Chris has already privately apologized to her. This was a huge point of contention for her. Chris's team did not want that. They did not want any admission of guilt or any apology, but DMZ wanted to include it. It almost cut the whole deal off.
DMZ
Chris's
standing
team
on
demanded
business.
Another line be added into her statement, and it would read, I have received an apology in private. It is untrue that he chose concubines and pressured girls to drink and have sex with minors. The reason why I posted those things was because I was hurt. People's interpretation is becoming further and further from the truth.
But it
Some
is
even
true.
allege that he girls. I don't want to waste public resources anymore. I don't want to be told I'm looking for attention. I've let it go.
That's
I wanna
more
start my
than
life
one
over, Be
line.
at peace with each other. I hope everyone understands. DMZ refused. She wanted to add either the words, he knows what he did, or he already apologized in private. The two sides went back and forth on this whole apology, and finally they found a middle ground. She would post the apology, and then I think later she would maybe cryptically post that he apologized. But it was like $300,000 that they settled on, right? But she was going to get $70,000, and then she would have to sign a formal agreement, and then she would get the rest of the money. So it would come in batches. And now, no statement she released would ever be taken seriously if it was similar to that, because she posted all the text messages between her and Chris's team. Because Chris's mom accused her of blackmailing them for money. So technically this was all going on behind the scenes. But then Chris's mom went to the police and was like, we're getting blackmailed by this girl.
Oh,
So the police were like, we're investigating about these blackmail claims. So then DMZ was like, oh yeah? Okay, fine. I'm not going to get accused of blackmail. Let me post these screenshots.
DMZ standing on
Oh,
business.
these text messages,
Yeah.
the negotiation of the money,
Yeah.
she just exposed it all.
Before even posting that statement.
Right,
It's
right,
over.
right.
It's
Just
over.
to show people what they're trying to
what it is.
hide. Yes.
So she had gotten $70,000, or she had already gotten the $70,000.
And she
which
got
was
some
supposed
money?
to sign the contract, then post the statement, and then get the rest of the money, right?
Mm.
Well, she had exposed all of these text messages about the negotiations after she had gotten the $70,000,
This
but
is good
before
that she
she
did,
signed
bro.
the contract.
It's so good that
So
she did
people were
that.
confused. They're like, So you are blackmailing him for money? Like, what's going on?
Yo, they
DMZ
want her to
explained
be
the money wasn't
in the
just for
wrong
her.
so
It was
badly.
her and 8 other victims, and they had all been depending on their families for their livelihoods. They had burned through
70
their
bands
savings. They
split
weren't
between
going to
8
work.
people is
I mean, this was compensation for them.
$8,750.
It was gonna be split between 9 people just to help them get back on their
9
feet.
people?
And it's not like Chris Wu would have missed.
That's $7,777. 0.77777. That's nothing.
And it's not like Chris Wu would have missed the money. She said that he was loaded and she knew it. I mean, if you Google it, like I said, it's going to say 9 million, but a lot of people in China believe it's closer to like 400 million. He truly is killing it, or was killing it. So you think $300,000 is even a lot for this guy when it's just for these victims, for
That's
these
like
girls
$100
to get
for
their
him.
life back together? So truly, her request was not much for
This nigga's
9
sick, bro.
irrevocably traumatized people. So anyway, the team agreed, and they said that they would be transferring her the money in batches. She got the $70,000.
Yeah.
She posted these receipts. Now, the $70,000 came from 2 different bank accounts. One was under Chris's name, and the other one was under Chris Wu's mom's name. So mommy is still out here cleaning up his messes.
Wow.
And then after posting this, DMZ took the contract that Chris's team had given her to sign. Remember, she had to sign it to
Yeah.
get the rest of the money. Went to a lawyer. She hadn't gone to a lawyer prior to this. And this lawyer was like, pump the brakes. Because this contract that they sent you, basically, you're admitting to blackmail, extortion, and coercion, and they could take this contract, go to the police because you signed it. You're basically admitting to committing crimes, and you could have been thrown in jail for 10 years.
This nigga's sick.
They were basically asking for her to sign a confession. The other side would have used this as evidence. And if you're like, okay, well, why didn't she read the contract? She did. It's very complicated legal contracts, and she's 18 years old. She, like... Remember when you're 18? Like, I was so scared of legal...
I ain't
I'm
gonna
still
lie.
so scared of legal contracts.
Oh, God. I've never
18?
seen, like, an
so she
official
posts
legal
the contract. And everyone is spitting out their coffee. Like, netizens are like, if you signed this contract, they would have fucked you up. You probably would have gone to prison. I mean, why would they even send you this contract unless that's what they wanted to do? So the netizens were arguing, but hold on to your arms on this one because it gets really wild. Like, really, really wild. There is a scammer in the mix.
What?
I'm going to come
What?
back to it. I'm going to come back to it. Yeah.
What?
So just keep this in mind. These conversations do not end here. This whole blackmail thing does not end here. Just wait till a little later.
I bet.
DMZ is fed up. She said, we don't want any compensation anymore, so don't come to us with that. We want justice. She also showed proof that her physical and mental health had deteriorated. She was diagnosed with anxiety, depression. She was receiving electroshock therapy for that. Her health scores were really low in terms of stress, fatigue, insomnia.
Electroshock therapy?
July 2021, DMZ posted a long article exposing how Chris Wu lures the girls. So it's like a step-by-step of how he does it.
Damn.
Using an excuse, looking for an actress in the studio. The team selects beautiful fans, and sometimes, if successful, he ends up sleeping with them. He will allegedly even
The
give out
fact that
rewards
his team
of
is
$1,500
facilitating this
to
is
whatever
crazy, bro.
employee set him up.
That's so sick,
Step
bruh.
2, invite the girl to a night drinking party at his house. Pressure her to drink. If she wants to leave, Chris's agent will threaten to destroy her career.
Wow.
Step 3, he will let his cousin threaten the girl if she tries to leave and tell the police. That's why he sleeps in the living room. While Chris and the girl are in the bedroom, his cousin is going to make sure that nothing happens in the living room, like she doesn't escape. Chris will soften up the girl to make sure that she doesn't go to the police by saying things like, I only like you, I'm only here for you, I want you to meet my mother. Like, he said that to every girl. And he would always use the next upcoming holiday. So sometimes it was, I want you to meet my mom for Chinese New Year. I want you to meet my mom for Mooncake Festival. I want you to meet my mom for Christmas. It was like, whatever the next holiday was. It was also exposed that allegedly he would say some really, really weird stuff before he engaged in sexual activity. A lot of girls corroborated this story that he would say, and apparently this is like a routine for him, he would say to the victim before penetration, I'm very big. Hang in there for a second. And after finishing 2 to 3 minutes later, he would look for validation from the girl and he would ask, how was it? Am I good? Aren't I big? Every one of my exes said I was too big. Yeah. Yeah. And like, I know it's not funny in the context, but the internet really had a field day with this one. Even the victims were making fun of him. DMZ said, women are willing to lie to you when they love you. And she suggested that he needs to change his name to Toothpick Woo. Because the feeling of intercourse with him is like sticking a toothpick in your nose.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Savage.
This would be a good time to bring up some of his alleged text messages that he sent to girls. And buckle up, because it's cringe town now. A woman came forward to expose messages between her and Chris.
Cringe town.
Chris kept telling her, he's nearly 30 at this point, that he's looking for a serious relationship and he just wanted to find someone to love and marry. He's looking for a clean girl with a good...
No, that's the title. That's the title. That's the title right there.
He's nearly 30 at this point, that he's looking for a serious relationship and he just wanted to find someone to love and marry. He's looking for a clean girl with a good, obedient personality.
Oh my god.
Anyway, he continued that he fell in love with her at first sight through her pictures because, get this, her figure, her personality, and her light skin is exactly what he was looking for. At this point, the two hadn't even met yet.
It's creepy, bruh.
He also asked her, are you single? Did you ever have sex before? And then he lectured her. A girl's first time is very important. Don't give it to a boy easily.
Oh my god.
You know, a man's capability is more important, so his first time doesn't really matter to him at all. Anyway, she said that they would eventually meet at a hotel, and it was a lot. He kept pushing drinks on her. He tried to feed her with his mouth.
Is he part of the red pill? Ooh.
And then she rejected him, and then he tried to grab her boob. And she rejected him again. And thankfully, she was coherent because she had a high alcohol tolerance, which I guess he wasn't expecting. So she's like, I'm still not tipsy, and you're a creep. Another girl came forward, and she posted alleged text messages between them, and he wrote, Silly Piggly, I've always wanted to ask you a question. Will you hurt me? Like, one day, if we're not together anymore, will you hurt me? And she responded with crying emoji and hit him with the, are you dumb? Because it's really dumb. Who writes that?
That is
and he
dumb,
wrote,
bro.
ha 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 ha. Okay, baby. The reason I ask is because I'm scared. I've been hurt before. That's why I asked. In another conversation, he allegedly wrote, baby, can you keep me company today? I can't sleep without you. Came home from set. Can you keep me company? Very whiny, okay? Very whiny. So a lot of cringe. Now, back to the crimes. DMZ said that Chris never wore condoms, never took any precautions, and finally, DMZ ended the article by giving Chris Wu an ultimatum.
Crazy.
She said that she chose to disclose everything online instead of to the police because she wanted to hear an apology. But she said that she had information that would put him behind bars for 10 years. So her demand was that he hold a press conference within 24 hours, write an apology letter, and also announce his withdrawal from the entertainment industry. Otherwise, she would ruin him. DMZ said, I can ruin your reputation even if I don't reveal what happened to those girls. Hurry up and get ready, Mr. Wu. This is a battle. DMZ reflected on her whole life.
DMZ started on
I clearly know that my life has been destroyed. Although I only had sex with Chris, the public thinks that I'm a whore. My future husband and mother-in-law will probably bring this up when we fight. Maybe my children will be called the child of a school. Like, my life feels ruined. But I can't ruin the other victims. Because I, for one, am a human being. More women came forward, including one of...
For the people that blindly just follow the words of Chris Wu, bro, are you not ashamed of yourselves, bro? This woman will potentially never have a normal life ever again, bro. If she gave herself an expiration date, all of a sudden now, y'all, oh no, why, what happened? Who hurt her? Y'all niggas is sick, bro. I need a heartbeat boom for some of the shit that DMZ is saying, cause she's spitting real, bro. Yeah.
Maybe my children will be called the child of a school. Like, my life feels ruined, but I can't ruin the other victims. Because I, for one, am a human being. More women came forward, including one of Chris Wu's earliest reported girlfriends, and she just made a cryptic post that read, "Justice after 7 years? Give it to me."
Wow.
Now, this is around the time that the police started to show interest in this case. CCP got to work, Chinese Communist Party. They hid the promotions of Chris Wu's new song as a precaution, and brands start dropping like flies. Till finally, Chris
Chinese
Wu lost
Communist
all
Party.
15 of his major contracts.
Usually when it drops, it's overnight.
Yeah.
Everyone drops at the same time.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It seems
Damn.
that the only way to get Chris Wu to respond was to mess with his endorsements, because he finally posted a personal statement, which I'm sure was just read over nonstop by his entire team of lawyers and publicists, but you get it. It wasn't his team or his mom talking for him. He posted it. And I'm not sure if he wrote it, but he wrote, "I didn't respond before because I didn't want to interfere with the judicial system. But I didn't expect my silence would make rumor mongers more ruthless. I can't stand it anymore. I only met Miss Du once. No selection of women, no underage girls. If that did happen, please be assured that I will go to prison myself." People weren't really buying it at this point. A comment under his post told him to, and I quote, "get lost." And that got 1 million likes. People had gone up to dig all the prior red flags that they felt like they had missed. So remember the fashion show that he was on, or the reality fashion show?
It's called Full Try.
Yeah.
I actually watched that one too.
Oh my god. So basically, the reality
husband is
series
funny.
is
What's
Chris
his name?
becoming a store manager at a pop-up clothing store in Tokyo that specializes in like Chinese streetwear. He has to run the store basically, and he can't just be like, "I'm Chris Wu, I'm gonna hire a bunch of people." Basically, it's watching him have a real job. Like, he has to do the merchandising, he has to do the store displays, marketing, like everything, and it's like the ups and downs. And his whole team of people, a lot of them would be celebrity guests. There would be other celebrities that were there that were help running this store, Angelababy being one of the most notable ones. Anyway, there was another young guest celebrity on there. Her name
Angelababy.
was Zhao Jinmai.
Zhao Jingmai.
Yeah, she was
Zhao
17 at the
Jinmai.
time. And during the show, Chris was showing a ton of attention to Zhao. He's 29. She's 17. And alarmingly, she's exactly his type. So she has this cute, innocent vibe to her. And in one of the episodes, she's modeling their newest collection, which is like this pink puffer jacket. And the overall look is very cute, right?
Yeah.
Everyone around them is just complimenting her. And she's like, "Oh, the clothes look cute. You look good in that. Like, you look so good. You can pull off anything." Like, these are normal things to say to a 17-year-old trying on clothes.
Word.
But Chris came in there, and he grabs her arm and is like walking away from everyone else with her in tow. And he says, and the translation is, "Wow, you look so adorable. Let's go. We're off work now. Let's go home."
现在太可爱了，走，我们下班，走吧。干啥呀？我们回家。我要把她带走。
Okay, like, let's go home. I think, okay, in Korean, let's go home has a very sexual undertone.
I
I don't
think
know
in
if it does
all
in China. I
in
don't know.
all
But in
languages.
Korea, like when guys say "let's go home" to their wives or girlfriends, it's usually like in the tone, like this
You know what I'm
playful
saying?
tone. It's like a "I can't wait to go home to rip your clothes off" tone. Unless they're really mad, then they're like, "Let's go home," you know. But no, it's weird. And he turns to everyone and he says, "I'm gonna take her away now." Angelababy butted in and said, "Your daughter?"
女儿吗？
对。
So nobody thought anything of it then, but now looking back, it seems like Angelababy maybe was trying to create distance between them, like trying to tell him, like, "What are you saying?
Oh, God.
This girl is like young enough to be your daughter. You know that, right?" Also,
Like-
Chris created a nickname for Zhao, calling her Mai Mai. And Chris kept showing her a ton of attention, saying things like, "Mai Mai, you need to wait for me to get back from running my errands. You promise? You promise?" It was so strange that later, after Chris Wu left, Angelababy and Zhao were talking together, and she told Zhao, "Hey, don't worry about Chris and his weird goodbye. Like, don't take it seriously. He's just being weird." Meaning probably like, just go home. Chris kept trying to create opportunities for him to be alone with Zhao, and Angelababy would very smoothly indicate that Zhao didn't want that because it didn't look like she wanted it. In another episode, Chris
Was
turned off the
this-
lights and said that his plan was to play a haunted house game, and he starts trying to freak out Zhao, just like basically talking to her and saying things like, "Now imagine you're trapped here alone, Mai," and suddenly someone walks over like this, like a vampire or a zombie.
This was, like,
and they're trying to touch you.
public?
And as he reaches
Is this-
closer and closer, Angelababy goes, "No touching," like nothing like that. Chris keeps going and he's like, "And he's gonna get super close to you," and he keeps getting closer and closer, and Zhao clearly looks uncomfortable, and she like manages to dodge and tries to be smooth about it. And finally, when it was time for Zhao to leave the show, she drew a little cartoon on Chris's hand as like a show of friendship, right? The next day, her last day, He still has the drawing on her hand. And it's not like she did it with like permanent marker. And even if it is, like it washes off, right? And he straight up tells her he didn't want to wash his hands. He didn't want to wash it off. Everyone laughed it off, but Angela Baby genuinely looked kind of shocked and weirded out by it. Like,
That is
unbelievable.
weird, bro.
So, I mean, it feels like he was really giving people the ick and doing some alarming things. But Chris kept going. He said that DMZ was lying and that they were going to take legal action. Meanwhile, his fan club was still supporting him. They showered him with support, loving messages. They would say things like, "We absolutely support him. We believe the truth will come out." But the evidence against him was just piling up. A netizen from the US posted about a cocktail party she had been to in LA, 2019. It was a party at his hotel. His assistant and his friend were there. And they invited 7 to 8 girls over, and after several rounds of what they felt like was almost like screening, like eliminations, girls were sent home like one by one, and then there was just one girl left at the hotel. And she didn't have her phone because like all the other girls, their phones were taken from them. And the whole time the energy was just weird. The girls were constantly asked about their ages, and weirdly, he asked every girl to sing a song for them, like freestyle. And if they didn't sing or rap well, he would force them to drink. The poster also said that she remembered seeing a round medicine-like tablet at the party, but she had no idea if anyone was drugged. She ended up leaving, but she learned that the last girl was essentially forced to stay and ended up engaging in sexual activity with Chris Wu. So finally, July 22nd of 2021, the Beijing police released a statement and they said this. Like they have been investigating, and they said Chris Wu did choose concubines by selecting women through his agents, and he did confiscate their phones when they were invited to his parties. He had sex with DMZ, who was 18 at the time and not a minor. During the investigation, DMZ admitted that she initially wanted to expose him and maybe gain some attention from it. The article that DMZ wrote was written on her behalf by an online writer. The writer embellished some of the things written. Chris's mom reported to the police that they were being blackmailed by DMZ, but the truth of the investigation exposed that there was another party involved, one that was playing both sides.
The scammer!
The person that blackmailed Chris Wu was not DMZ, but a stranger who had nothing to do with this, and his name was Loui, and he's 23 years old, and he had since been arrested. Let's talk about this whole thing. Remember how
Perfect
DMZ was
boom.
asking for money, right, for all the victims to share? Okay. There's this guy, Loui, who had been watching all of this. He has no connection to any of these people. He doesn't have connections to the victims or to Chris and his team. He's just a regular, like, netizen. And he decided to make a fake account on WeChat and add DMZ, pretending to be a victim of Chris Wu.
So he's not a
impersonating
scammer?
a girl impersonating to be a victim. He talked to her. DMZ opened up. She even sent him a few text messages between her and Chris that weren't released yet. This is important. He then used these text messages to create another fake account, pretending to be DMZ's personal account, like another side account of DMZ's, messaged Chris Wu's attorney and said, "Hey, look at the other messages that I have yet to release. Pay me money."
Wow.
And he, talking to Chris Wu's lawyer, settled on $500,000. And his plan was to get the money directly into his account, right? And that would be the end of it. But the lawyer said they needed DMZ's account with DMZ's name on it. So then he made another WeChat account and posed as Chris's attorney and messaged DMZ.
Oh, this nigga's a
And
scammer.
started fake negotiations
He's
with
definitely a
DMZ,
scammer, bro.
asking her, "Don't you want money from this?" Blah, blah, blah.
Or a
So they
fraudster.
reached a settlement after
Trickster.
a ton of negotiation.
Did he get
which,
the money?
Side note, the contract that was super messed up that could potentially put DMZ in jail, that actually was from Chris's team.
That was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Wow.
they're really evil. They gave it to Loui thinking it was DMZ, and then Loui just forwarded it to DMZ because he did need her signature to get the rest of the money.
Wow.
Because they too were going to give it in batches, right? So his plan was to give DMZ's account, but later for the rest of the money, because again, Chris's team is giving it in batches, after the signed contract, he was going to say, "Hey, actually, this is DMZ, but can you send it to like my friend's account instead or another victim's account instead?" And then he would give his account. So he wouldn't get the full amount, but he would get something.
Yeah.
Very dangerous game here.
God.
And so
Oh,
DMZ
God.
does get $70,000 in her account from Chris's team, but she refused to sign the agreement, so the rest wasn't coming to her. Now, Loui saw the perfect opportunity and told her, pretending to be Chris's attorney still catfishing her, and said, "If you don't sign it, you gotta return the money." And he gave her his bank information
Oh,
to return
okay,
the
yeah.
money.
Now he's weird.
She
Now he's
returned it,
weird.
and Loui made $70,000.
What?
So freaking dumb. Like, now your account is forever flagged.
Yeah, and he was arrested.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty easy to track money. So the police released all of this, and they also announced Chris Wu's allegations were still being investigated. At this point, even the authorities were fully involved, and all of this was coming to light. People were still on DMZ, saying that she just wanted fame, and they were annoyed because she gained like 5 million followers in 4 days. They said she finally achieved her goals, but does it really matter? You know, like, fine, yeah, she admitted to the police she did want a bit of attention at first, but still, victims don't act the way that you want them to. Like,
yeah, bro,
I think a lot of victims, when you are victimized like that, you think, okay, fine, you know what, like, this person, I hate this person, let's not be miserable. Let's try to find some lemonade in this situation,
silver
right?
lining,
like, there's no
bro.
default energy that should come from victims, and I think it's very selfish for us to think that.
Oh,
so
God.
anyway, people were mad at her.
You my man,
either
Stephanie.
way, DMZ
me.
putting herself out there and putting these allegations out there, regardless of her original intention, a lot of victims came forward, and they started to get justice. So it seemed like even DMZ didn't know how deep and how serious Chris's actions were. So maybe she just thought that this guy was ghosting her and love bombing her and just a toxic person and very predatory, but she probably didn't realize the extent.
Yeah.
And then it became like, wow, this is actually so serious. A lot of people were really concerned that Chris had an obsession with young girls and purity. A lot of his fans were just so grossed out and disappointed in him. They felt so dirty for even supporting this guy to begin with. But like, how can you even blame yourself for that? I think it's also good to see the good in people. So like, I don't know, it just sucks. And then the agent, Fang Mang, let's be real, his agent is almost acting like a pimp, procuring these girls for him.
The team is correct. They have to go to prison too, bro.
July 31st of 2021, Chris Wu was detained in Beijing of suspicion of rape. And even then, Chris still had fans, who would show up at the jail.
Are you serious?
I don't know who didn't tell you that. Like, that's just bonkers. And then finally, August 16th of 2021, Chris was officially arrested for suspicion of rape, meaning the police felt like they had solid evidence to go to trial. Chris was also erased. Yeah, that's a thing that happens in China. So in America, you get canceled. In China, you get erased from the internet.
What?
Like every video, everything of you just gets taken down as if you never existed. 1.9 million short form videos, 7,000 videos, TV series, variety shows, everything deleted,
movies,
gone, wiped, done. Finally, November of 2022,
you
Chris
can't even
was
make
sentenced.
money off of it anymore. Good, because these niggas don't deserve to make a single cent off of residuals, bro. But bro, China has like that much, you know what I'm saying? Wow, okay, that's kind of shocking, I ain't gonna lie. What the hell?
Videos, TV series, variety shows, everything deleted, gone, wiped, done. Finally, November of 2022, Chris was sentenced to 11 years and 6 months for rape and 22 months for promiscuity, 13 years in total. He was also slapped with an $85 million fine for tax evasion.
You can go to jail for
The
promiscuity?
investigation concluded that between November and December of 2020, Chris Wu raped 3 women who were drunk and unconscious, and because he's Canadian, after serving his sentence, he's going to be deported to Canada. He will be 44 years old when he gets out in 2034. Side note, prison in China is not fun. Not that it's fun anywhere, but this is what the toothbrushes look like. They're the length of a thumb. It's very soft. It's silicone, so you can't hurt yourself. Everything's really soft.
That's the
You eat
toothbrush they
bland
gave
food.
me.
You have to work 8 hours a day. Apparently, prison labor is huge in Beijing. The Beijing prisons are known for producing, which like prison labor is a thing in America too. Just so you know. They produce a ton of ballpoint pens and charging cables. Even the 2008 Olympics that was hosted in Beijing, all the costumes and props of the actors, a lot of them were made by prisoners. They do get paid. But like America, prison wages, so not real wages. Yeah, very little wages compared to what Chris was making on his shows. But he could get out on good behavior. But he will be deported to Canada, and it's speculated that he might go to jail in Canada too. Because under Canadian law, citizens who commit felonies abroad, even when they finish their sentences and are sent back to Canada, they might be charged again because Canada's like, wait, we don't want you out in the streets if you're a danger to the world.
Facts.
Depending on the severity of the crime. So
I mean, this is
a pretty
severe.
high-profile case. It's a sex offender case, you know, so I guess we'll see. And Chris is being sued by a woman in Los Angeles who said that she was underage when he had sex with her while he was there for work.
Damn.
Which means, is he going to go to the U.S. to face charges? I don't know, because right now it's a civil lawsuit, not a criminal
Getting charged
lawsuit.
in 3 different
I guess we'll see.
countries is
Now, a lot of people think that all of this had to do with Chris's
well
mom.
deserved.
I have mixed feelings.
What?
Usually I'm like, let's not put the ultimate blame on a woman for a man's actions.
Oh,
But I will
God.
say the mom plays a heavy hand on this one. So this one I'm like, I can kind of see it.
She's the one who called the police.
Yeah.
She filed the charge.
She filed the charge for blackmail
That
from
is true.
DMZ.
If she didn't
and
do
that
that-
is why the police started
Was involved.
investigating.
Yes.
Yeah.
At first, the police were just like internet drama.
Yeah.
The CCP was like weird internet drama.
Oh, God.
And then it just got crazy. She literally went to the police.
Why did she-
Because she was so cheap. She did not want to pay like $300K when they have like $400 million. She also apparently was so cheap that she would hire interns, and she would hire the interns on a 3-month probationary period, meaning you have to do your best for 3 months. And if you're amazing, we'll hire you and actually pay you. If not, sorry, you suck. Well, she never had any intention of hiring any of them.
Yeah,
Apparently, she
that's
went
so
through interns
nasty,
like free
bro.
labor. Yeah.
That's so nasty,
Yeah.
bro.
She always fired people, and if they demanded their remaining checks, the wages that they were rightfully owed, she would give them PR packages that Chris didn't want anymore. She'd be like, well, this is more expensive than the wages I owe you. And they're like, what the f*** am I supposed to do with La Mer cream? My rent is due.
Oh my gosh.
And during team building meetings, she would say super bizarre things like, it's your responsibility to work hard
God.
for our Chris Wu. And everyone's like, well, lady, I'm just here to pay rent. Which, side note, it's speculated that Chris's mom, had Chris's mom not gone to the police, none of this would have happened.
Oh, God.
So, and there is another rumor that Chris's
Oh,
mom went to Jackie
God.
Chan looking for help, but she was turned away politely.
I imagine the mom probably did everything she can possibly think of.
She
just
probably
so
really
you
did
can
go to
assume
Jackie
that,
Chan.
right? She's not sitting there.
Yeah, this whole thing is...
Wow.
Is that to clear her
the minute
nose,
that
bro? That's funny.
She was like, you're in pain? Come back. You don't have to be a trainee. I was like, this is not
Yeah.
going to end well.
Nope.
This is not going to end well. When mothers baby
Whoa.
their full-grown adult children that much, it's just never going to end well.
That's wild.
Wow. I've never seen a situation where it ends well. So DMZ's sister posted after Chris Wu's conviction and arrest that only through hellish torture can we gain the strength to conquer heaven. Our efforts are not in vain. All the injustice we have suffered will be turned into motivation. Thank you. And now DMZ is living her best life. She seems to still be as positive and optimistic as before. She's fully enjoying her life. And she even posted, I'm not going to be a wimpy little girl anymore. I'm not going to let people down. I'm going to do my best to get into my dream college and just live a good life.
Wow. Wow.
Such a wild
Give her.
It just
Oh, wait.
goes
No,
to
no.
show the power
No.
of good PR teams.
I wanted a round of applause.
If you're an evil, nasty person, it's going to come to light.
Facts.
It's just heartbreaking. because it took so
Facts.
long.
Yeah.
That is the story of Chris Wu. I do know that there are still people out there who believe that he is innocent. And I do think that sometimes the internet jumps onto the guilty train too quickly because technically, at least in the United States, it's innocent till
Till
proven,
proven
guilty. But
yeah.
he has been proven guilty, so he has been convicted.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. I get it. Parasocial relationships are weird.
Yeah.
That's it for today's video. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know. That was
Keep
a
that
huge
nigga in.
deal. I love
Yeah.
you guys. Make sure to check out Raycon linked in the description, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Ah, you my man, Stephanie. You and your husbands. I love you too. I hope you safe. I think that nigga should stay in prison for life. I don't think he should get out ever. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Toothpick Wu is crazy. And it's well deserved, bro. 'Cause that nigga is sick. They need to do something about the people he was working with. That's a fact. That's a fact, bro. Because they facilitated it. Accomplices, bro. They need to get jail time. And the mom probably knew everything too, bro. His favorite kid is hey, mom. Hey, can everyone stop talking about what is going on with Chris? It might not be true, so don't always say this. He's in prison. I ain't gonna keep y'all any longer. Enough of me. No, seriously, enough of me. It's been your boy Tribe Loui. Good day, good afternoon, good night, good evening, good morning, and most importantly, but unfortunately, I'm gonna see y'all I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Yeah, this the end. Leave a like and share it to your friends and your kin. When I post a video, I'm gonna need y'all to attend. Thank you for the view, but I ain't done with you. 2023, I'm about to be Jordan with the flu. Yeah, join the tribe. Yeah, join the tribe. I'm gonna need y'all to subscribe.